Hey, what's going on, guys? In today's video, we're going to be showcasing every single base form location in Coromon. This video is going to be a compilation of 4 separate location guides put together into one for your convenience. We're going to start with the starter locations, then head into the rare Coromon, then the legendaries or dark magic forms, then finish off with the more obscure and common Coromon. Do note that as of the time this video is going live, dark magic Lumon is still not available, so as soon as it is, I will put a guide out for that specifically, and again, expect it to be excluded here. That said, let's dive in. Okay, so in all of these spawns, all 3 stages of the starters are available. The earliest is Taruga, and it can be found within the volcanic mines near where the 4th Titan resides. You're going to have to make your way all the way to the end just before the final ladder leading to the Titan fight. I personally found it easier just to finish the Titan and then come back because you can use the ladder as a warp. So you can warp to the Titan, use the ladder to go down to the 3rd floor, and you'll be right there. This is not a missable location, so you will pass it at some point. Next, we're going to have to head over to the Ice Mountain City and head west. Just follow my character because it is quite the trek. This is the best way I can remember where this location is. You can also access it from Vlama the Fire Town. Once you reach this elevated hill with some grass patches on it, you can find the entire Cub-Zero line. Finally, last but not least, you're going to want to warp to the Ixquin Ruins, which is the endgame area, and just to the northwest of where we spawn is the water patch where you can find the Nibelgar line. You're going to have to follow all the way around to get to it, but once you get to the location just south of the stream, start fishing and you'll be able to find all 3. It is worth noting that some of these starters can be found in other locations as well, but I find these to be the most convenient. So first up we have Mino, which isn't super rare, but it can be found just after the bridge near the R&D lab. Next we have everyone's favorite Biddy Bolt, which can be found as early as Woodlow Forest. In these 2 patches of grass just before the road forks. Next, if you travel a bit to the northeast, you'll be able to run into Frova, an ice type, quite early on. Next, you may not know this, but on Donor Island, and the Woodlow Harbor for that matter, you can actually run into wild Coromon on the coastline. I know this thanks to Cirque, I didn't actually know this. Here you can find a Fiddly, AC, and Tin Shell. On the 2nd floor of the Donor Island Cave, you can find a Gosslime, the electric goo Coromon here, that looks pretty cool. In the Soggy Swamps 2nd area, if you travel to the far east near the Zen Shroom and the chest, you'll be able to find the fire-type Squidma. Later on, if you obtain the surfboard, you'll be able to capture Quagoo in the 3rd area in this upper right corner just before Pobbery, so make sure to come back here when you do. Right under the Mart in Pobbery, you can actually find Lunar Pup. I think this is a great spot to hunt for that perfect form, should you wish. Under the Hyperloop is the Hergy and Ginks spawns. You can find Squidly near the cemetery. Next, if we head over to the Haunted Hills under the Pobbery Church, you can find Seraface in this location. Otogi can be found in the exact same spot. Same goes for the Ice-type Froshell. Then we can find Pyrochick in the second room, which is a pretty cool Fire-type bird. Over to the desert, right when you first enter it after the Pobbery Hyperloop, you can find Decibite. In the Vermeer Grotto, within the first area, you can fish for Shimshell. You can then find Blizzbird in the second area. In this patch of grass. If we head over to the volcano and go down into the first basement floor, past the first minecart, you can find Blobby. So without further ado, head over to the Ixquin Ruins, and right within the first section of the map, here you can encounter both Arcta and Arcturus. You can also encounter Usaclaw in this same area as well. Next, surf directly to the east on the next island where you can find both Lampire and Lumisect. Do note that Lumon is actually not available yet, but most likely will be included in a near update and located in this area as well. Finally, head south and west to the final platform, which contains both Centilla and Millodont. We're going to start at Luxalis campus and head into Woodlow Park. In this patch of grass, you can find Patterbit, Silquill, and Armado. Next, in the same area, and this is surfboard only, you can obtain Jella and Flowish, but there's a better location for it later. Next, just past the bridge, you'll be able to encounter the God of Coromon, Swarmy. Next, you can head over to Hayville and find Moffle in this location. Keep in mind, a lot of these Coromon can be found in many different locations. I'm just giving you guys the locations that I found them first, so keep that in mind. East into Woodlow Harbor, you can also find Buzzlet. You can then find Slitherpin towards the northeast corner of the map. Over on Donor Island, you're going to head into Thunderous Cave, where you can find Lumon on the very first floor near the entrance. You can then head up to the second floor where everything is dark in order to find Houndoss. Over to the Soggy Swamp, you can find Tattle in this location here. And just to the east of that, you can find Drupal. Now we're going all the way to Darudic, just south of the trainer hub, you can find Sand Scale. From here, if you head into Wooston Desert, you can find Chireptile. Over to the hot area, you can find Mooby. Next, you can find Scarbone on the 5th floor of the pyramid, right when you come through the door. Next, head to Vlama and head to the second below floor of the mines. Here you can find Rupitus. Next, head over to Alavi and go north. You'll find a patch of grass to the left where you can find Arcta and Arcturus for that matter. Then if you go to the far left, you can find the entire Cairo line as a triple encounter. And finally, we have a bit of a special one being Bren. It's actually a pre-evolution to Pyrochick. So I have a Pyrochick here with a reborn trait. What this does is it makes it so that upon fainting, Pyrochick will turn into Bren and then hatch after 3 battles. It's a really weird Coromon in my opinion, but if you basically just let it get knocked out, that'll fill your database entry for it.